what's Missin Curfew? It's when you kind of play guilty, but you show up.
How nice is a green light on the road, though? No practice tomorrow, no plane, just go.
Scotty Upshaw in the clear, and he scores! Right in front, scores!
A few laughs, a little bit of fun, and obviously a lot of hockey talk.
You're listening to Missin Curfew.
The lads.
Up, dog. We just had our boy Torts on, and now we got two-time Stanley Cup champion John Cooper.
I feel like the music just got a little louder in this building right now.
Thanks for taking time to come over, buddy. We appreciate it.
Hey, I'm an undercard compared to Torts, man. So this is it was cool to see him.
Yeah,
What a guy.
I'm glad I finally get to sit down and talk to you, but I was hoping the first time we would be at the Tree Bar at Gozzer Ranch. But I'll take this, Coop. I'll take this, fella. Because that's a good spot. I know you like that spot.
The next time you do one of these should be at the Tree Bar during the bull rush.
Yeah, the bull rush is a good one.
Yeah.
But I was at the revelry when old Rusty brought me.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's right. Actually, your pictures
got
up
a
with
chance.
Rusty.
He won the fucking thing. He's been rusty with this.
Hey, listen, when you're in the clubhouse getting a hat and you go take a piss,
That's exactly where it is.
it's right there.
Yeah, you leave your.
By the way,
You're dropping your head. You're like,
I was still playing. I had some guns on me actually.
Yeah, you.
But by the way, I'll tell you why we won that tournament. Is because Rusty's handicap was like a 16.
Rusty's a gamer, though.
Well, that's what I mean. But you know, when you're 16 and you're a gamer, I feel like if you played in the National Hockey League, you're not allowed to be over like a 12. It's like it's got to be a max handicap. So Rusty came
The cigars Rusty brings, he can play whatever fucking hit.
I agree.
He does bring a lot to the table aside from golf.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he brings his shank with him every once in a while, his hook. But no, Rusty's the man. I love that guy.
Yeah.
He's been so nice to my family. He's awesome.
Yeah, so Coop, you'll love this. We go for that revelry tournament, and I'm down at the Tree Bar, and they're like, Tree Bar's closed. And I'm like, hey, listen, excuse me, sir, I'm not a member here, but I've been here for 3 days, and this bar doesn't fucking close. So I'm like,
the fridge is always open.
Yeah, I go, what happened? He goes, there's been an altercation in the men's grill. And I'm like, this has Upshall written all over it. So I go up there, and I don't know, what the guy threw an orange at you or something?
Oh, no. The guy threw...
You were there for that?
that was the tournament. I was...
Because that came in like probably a week after that.
Yeah, you weren't there because on hitting the 18 tee shot, you weren't at the house. The lights were off. But no, one of the guys was up standing on the bar, kind of dancing, and someone from the patio threw an orange through the window. It was the indoor-outdoor bar, and it hit him. And he turned around and saw kind of everyone just go like this. And he hucked one right back, and it was melee. And I was talking to Chaser. I was not in this, but I was just talking to Chaser on the patio, and next thing you know, little scrummage, and everything kind of flooded to the dance floor, and it was nothing. It was absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
But
no, I wasn't. I was just
Holly,
like, the close.
The next morning, Holly, when we show up for our tea time, Holly's walking out with a little coffee and Bailey's out of the pro shop, and he's like,
great.
Hey, up dog, heard you got a little tussle last night. You were tiptoeing out of there.
He's like, way to do the fucking moonwalk out there, Upshaw.
Oh, Holly is the best.
Holly's brilliant.
Yeah.
What comes out of his mouth is, well, first of all, it's 99% right.
Yeah.
He just has the nuts to say it. But, is he a funny man?
It runs in his family. It runs in the
I
family.
love spending time with him.
We had Chris Pronger on after Pronger's jersey got retired, and he told me that like Halsey wouldn't even go for empty netters. I never knew that. Like if it was empty netter,
Yeah, I brought that up because I was like, he'd score 55, 60 every year, and he'd have no empty netters.
Yeah, isn't that true? Like his 86 goal year?
Yeah, not one.
That's crazy.
I think Gretz, when he had the 90, what do you have, 92, and he had like 10 or 12, I think.
Yeah.
So how did you get hooked up at Gozzer Ranch? Like how many years have you been there? Because it's a beautiful place. I wish I would have maybe...
long story short, this one. So Tyler Johnson's from up there, and they were having a charity game, probably like 2014. And he's like, "Hey, come up, coach." It was a bunch of just to raise money. So I went up there a couple days. I didn't go back because I'm like, no, like, whoa, I can go.
My liver hurts.
I'm not going to show up for my own training camp.
Exactly. So no, but it was a ton of fun. So anyway, in 2017, I'm going to blame Barrett Jackman. Do you ever play with Jax?
I played against him, battle against him.
Jax is the man.
Yeah.
So he invites me. Now, obviously, Chaser was involved.
Yeah.
The setup.
Yeah.
And he invites me as a guest to the Bull Rush. And so I'm like, I'll go. Like Jess, my wife, let's go check it out. And Chaser's been raving about it forever. So we went to the Bull Rush. And at the same time, there's a phenomenal charity event, community cancer charity event. It's like a mini Lake Tahoe.
Oh,
it is the best. And so like, hey, will you play in that? So I play in that. And so I basically spent 12 days there. And you spent 12 days at Gozzer.
Yeah.
Now you're reevaluating your portfolio, saying, how can I squeeze
You're
this
like,
in?
if I
take everything and I'm like here to Gozzer.
How much margin loan can I basically?
You're like,
on this?
I better win the cup again next year.
A home equity loan in our places. So, So you know what? And honestly, like the way things have turned out, we ended up buying there in because September is the time after the bull rush, people buy and stuff. So we bought, and oh my God, it was
Change your life.
It did, because I wouldn't get in now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Not not only financially, Coop, but just some of the people that you get to meet and talk to.
Can't say enough. That's why we had the little funny story about the dust up.
Yeah,
the orange dust up.
Clocking.
It doesn't happen to Gozzer.
No.
Like that never happens. No, everybody's like from all walks of life, and they're all together, and nobody cares if who you are. It's the best. That's why people go there.
And you know what else is great about Gozzer is the staff that are always there. They're young kids from in and around the community, and they're the coolest, most humbling guys. And they're there like the pros at the golf course. The girls as bartenders.
Yeah.
The whole staff. So how's the pickleball game?
So I only go right now against my 11-year-old.
Yeah.
I got to start. Yeah.
So get a couple early W's.
Confidence.
Start off. Yeah.
Get the confidence. Yeah.
Hey, the start of the season
on my 11-year-old.
Yeah. Start of the season is important.
That was out.
No, it wasn't. So anyway, I've slowly gotten into it though. It's a pretty cool sport.
Yeah.
I'll tell you though. So when we were in the bubble, that became the rave. We're in the bubble and we're in Toronto and Edmonton. By the time we got to Edmonton, there were courts being made in the concourse of the arena for everybody that was playing. It was out of hand, but it was also tragic. I mean, God, I'm going to forget names now, but God, Q wheeled out one of his staff members who,
oh fuck!
Oh yeah,
there's guys at our girls' school.
yeah. It's bad cat.
One was me out and poor. I know what I mean. There's this Billy Zito. So Billy Zito, Bill, don't
hate me for this.
Yarmo and Bill, and they'd go against Darchie and Julian. And I'm telling you, it was phenomenal. I watched those guys play pickleball at the beginning of the bubble. By the time they got to the end, I was like, I'll never play these guys. They were unbelievable. But I'll tell you, they had some wars, unbelievable competition, and it was impressive. Pickleball's the players would all play. It was a great way to pass the time when you're in the bubble.
Do you ever look back at that bubble? I know that's when you won your first one and be like, how the fuck did we really even do that? Or was it just kind of what you were going to do because you had to do it?
It's part of that. It's just part of adapting. Okay, this is a scenario, but for us, we won. Okay, so you sit here and say 65 days in a hotel room, no family, no anything.
Worth every night when you win.
But when you win, it's everybody says, it's that's the hardest cup to win. I'm like, it probably was, but oh fuck, I honestly you feel, Dallas was there the whole time and didn't win, and it's just I feel for those guys, and I know a lot of guys on that team, and it's you wish we both just could have won together, but it was but that bubble, it wasn't we were in a nice hotel, and it was just you were confined. And that was the only part that got kind of tough is you want to go for a walk somewhere, well, you're walking the hallways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they treated you unbelievable. People, I don't have a bad, the league did an unreal job for what they had. Yeah. And it was a great experience for me. And it was funny because I've never taken a diary or done anything like that in my life. And I wish I would have, but I did of that experience. And so, I don't know, I would, to go back and read about it is holy cow, I forgot that happened, or I forgot that happened. It was
how about the when I saw you this summer at Gozzer, the show on I think it's Amazon or something came out of the Road to the Cup.
Oh yeah.
And you were like, fuck, I haven't watched it, but I to know that that's there too. How cool are those moments now that guys probably didn't have 10 years ago, a good film crew experiencing the struggles, the wins, the losses, and then putting it into this epic,
to document your life of an event that
forever remember.
So when we got married, I got married in 2005, and my wife was like, no video. like, all right, whatever. Save a little couple bucks here on the side.
She's like, how you're like,
Yeah, no, I guess
a buck or two here.
how serious is she about this whole thing? Right?
So I'm like, maybe I'm on the out. She doesn't want to talk to us. She goes, no, I want it to live in our memory.
Yeah.
And we just had this rager of a wedding. Like, it was awesome.
Yeah.
But we don't have anything to remember by. And not that I'm listen, it's all in my head. I love it. But to win a Stanley Cup and now two, and to have it documented by like professionals,
and your young kids can go back and see like, that was like,
and
even though they're.
So we watched together, and that's why I hadn't seen it, so we could get the family together, and we watched episodes together, and so it's kind of cool to. First of all, it's a little embarrassing when you watch yourself, but then, your kid's like. One time my kid gets up and he's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my God. He was like, he's actually genuinely fired up.
Hey, Coop, that's why I never watched film of myself out there.
I was like, is that what I look like? Is that it?
I look like
that's adding a couple
I've been
of
on this
these.
league for this long. How do I look like that?
Well, we just got the story from how you were really, popular at, what's that, Yankee Stadium?
Yeah. I told you, Torts, your boy Nigel, I call him the GOAT of video coaches. I texted him after you won your other one. I'm like, Nigel, Brady's got nothing on you, buddy. Keep going. You're going to catch him here soon. Tampa Red Sox, Torts, fuck, he's always all over me, but I love him. But they were playing the Red Sox with Torts, the mask guy. Me and Paul Ranger, we can't find our seats, eh? I got 2 big beers. And
Off day, spring training.
Yeah, off day. I know we have practice in the morning, but yeah, pretty much. And Coop, I got 2, like, I'm not just a donkey. I got 2 of the biggest beers you could get. And 2
You got big paws. You can handle your
2 jumbo hot dogs. And Nigel and Torch at the game. And they spawn us, right? 2 call up and back. So Nigel video clips it. So next day, we got a game the next day, Coop. Pre-scout, Torch comes in. He's like, boys, Shane O'Brien, right? We give up a first rounder for him. He comes here, I tell him he's got to get in shape and be a better pro and start to mature and really, it's really paying off, boys. Look at this. Nigel, roll the clip. Boom, and there's me and the boys just fucking. I'm like, 2 hot dogs, 2 beers. And I'm like, what? Why do I need this? I was -2 the night before or something. I'm like, I'm just trying to stay in the league.
Yeah, it wasn't about Paul Ranger. It was about you.
It was about Range, a sick player.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Good player.
Sick player.
I never got to see him play, but everybody in Tampa raves about him.
Yeah.
What a baller he was.
And it's crazy. Like, we just had Tucson and talked about everything he's come through. And Range was my roommate, and I never thought once that he was dealing with any kind of like, mental stuff like that. And he's a quiet guy, and then he just had to step away from the game. Like, Tampa offered him a big ticket, and he just said, no, I'm done. I'm not playing. So it was crazy.
Yeah, who's some guys do that. You got to respect it too. Like, who's the running back in Detroit? Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
Like, he was right in his prime.
Yeah.
Best ever, and he walked away.
Even that Aaron Donald's thinking about shutting it down, too.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I don't know.
Crazy.
How about the day? So Shaddy's a good buddy of mine. We got we get him. He's the best. We get him in Newport now, and he's great for the young guys in Anaheim. It was so special when he got the cup this summer. Yeah. Because throughout you guys didn't get the cup after you won the first. Your first one.
Where he took it.
He took it right. Oh, he took it right to MSG. No, he took it to MSG.
Right to MSG.
Hey, Ranger.
Hey, a little salt in the wound. Hey, Dolan, here you go, bud. Want to come see it?
I mean, it was a little bittersweet. He's a New Yorker. It was it was his dream to play for the Rangers. But that was just a big day to get the cup. You got to bring him to Gozzer. You and Johnny. How was it?
It was first of all about Shaddy, the greatest teammate. Honestly, we needed guys like him. In our room. And he was a big reason why we won. I understand why he left it, finances and all that stuff, but we owe that cup, a lot of it to him and Maroon, like a ton of guys that came in. Anyway, bringing it to Gozzer, so we couldn't bring it across the border. So that was a big thing for me, is I just wanted, my dad to see it, and he's getting older. He couldn't come across, couldn't bring it. So I was like, well, guess we're bringing it to Gozzer. And so Tyler Johnson was up there. So I was extremely fortunate. I got to have it, for 2 days. We had 3 days. We combined it, and what an experience! But the thing was, it was the guys that had won it that were up there. Ray Whitney was up there. Gretz was up there. Doug Waite was up there. Chaser was up there. So we had this group of guys. Tyler Johnson, and so you don't understand when people want to drink out of the cup.
Yeah,
and
you got to hold the thing.
Only guys that wanted to hold
I know, right? Yeah.
And so after 2 days, I'm telling you, I woke up after the second day, and my hands and my
your thighs are bruised, dude.
And I'm like, am I getting arthritis already? Like this, it was. But it's there's nothing like it, and you almost wish everybody could win it.
Yeah.
Just to have that experience. Like even like Gretz, who was won it 4 times. he was like almost afraid to touch it.
Yeah, right.
Like,
he still looks at it and understands that it's it's bigger than him.
Yeah, it was
which is crazy, but it's the biggest. It's the biggest.
That was the running joke was there's 2 trophies in the room.
Yeah,
Gretz and one is above the other, and that was the cup, and he'd readily admit it.
Yeah,
but it was a great experience. So my family and we had some friends there, but just the people like Oz were so appreciative of bringing it there and getting to see it, and it was that's why you realize why you win it. That's why you win it is to share it. And that was it was the greatest experience.
I went to Ryan O'Reilly, my boy Fat Daddy. I love that kid. Right?
Yeah, had him at Worlds.
Yeah, he's just Coop. When I walked into, I signed a 1-year deal. I took a pay cut to go to Denver. Coming from Nashville, they were shit. I was like kind of bummed going to camp, but a chip on my shoulder. Anyways, I met this Ryan O'Reilly. He walked into the room, and I'm like, "There's something special about this kid."
Yeah.
Right? And then I saw, went out for a couple of drinks with him. I was like, great guy. But anyways, he had the cup, and I went there. I'm like, I'm not going to touch it because I never won it. But he brought out I got him a bottle of Blue Label. And he put that Blue Label in the cup, and I was like, "Come here, Fat Daddy. I'm having a sip of that." So, but it's when you see it. I mean, you've won it twice, but when you see it, as guys haven't, and you look at it, you're like, "Fuck, wow, there it is."
So
there it is.
Just a couple days ago, we had 4 days off, and 2 of our trainers had it. So on our one of our video guys who produces our TV stuff had it. Our equipment guy had it. It was a day off, and our video guy had it in Michigan. I went to all 3.
Yeah.
You know what? You get a chance to go with.
Yeah, we had Mike Commodore. We had Mike Commodore on in Scottsdale, and when they won in Carolina, he went to 12.
All the North American stuffs, and then he's like, you know what? The only thing I regret is just not getting overseas.
Yeah, I'm shocked he didn't. He goes, yeah, shit. I wish I would have went to Europe, boys. I got to be honest with you. I'm like, 12's not bad, Combi. 12 Stanley Cup parties is not bad, but Coop, I got to ask you about Corey Perry. I've known Pears a long time. He went with the method. If you can't beat him, join him. You got to give him credit for that. But he got his 4th goal the other night? How's Pears been in the room for? He's just an old school guy.
Okay. I'll say the by his side Hall of Famer.
Corey Perry?
Yeah.
Yes, I think so.
100%. They'll put Getzy and him at the same time.
Yeah.
I totally agree. And so I say this about Corey Perry, Hall of Famer on and off the ice and in the room.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And so you talk about like Shatker coming in, and then we lose him, and Gaudreau coming in. We lose like those type guys, Coleman, and then now we've got Belmar coming in, and we got Perry coming in.
Yeah.
And they just like Julian's done a hell of a job finding these guys, like what our fit is.
Yeah.
And but I'll tell you though, Perry is like, somebody asked me the other night, like, is there anything about Perry like you didn't really know about? And I was like, well, first of all, I never got to see him because he's in the West.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize how damn, like, not only good, but how slippery and shaky around
the worm, man. The worm.
It is unbelievable. Like, and nothing happens by accident with him.
Yeah,
no.
Half the time he's looking like, hey, what's going on?
I know, right?
It's worked since he was 17.
It is, but
Come on, Paris. We don't get it.
He is remarkable. Like, and I'm telling you, like, for him, I don't know how old he is. He's played 15, 16 years. He's got 17 goals. And like he's scoring,
and he started
6 on 5 big one. He didn't score in his first 17 games.
I was like, maybe Paris, maybe Tampa's not the pace for you, but he's found it out.
But you talk about glue guy, and I remember when we beat Dallas in the finals, and if I was going to circle their top 3 players in the finals, he was one of them.
Yeah, I agree.
He's, and so I see why teams win with him on it.
Yeah.
It's got to be a nice feather in your cap too that veteran guys want to come. I know you guys are 2-time champs and you can slide in and they have another chance to win. But as a coach, it's got to be a good.
It's not just
that's what I like. I like to look at it that way. The weather, the taxes.
It has to do with the coach a little bit too, don't you think? It's like if you're a veteran, I want to go and play for.
I got a story about the coach,
but the taxes do matter. Yeah,
I got one more story. I'm sitting watching game. It was game 3. I think you guys were in. All right, you were in Montreal, and you guys were up a goal late. Patty Maroon, I think, scored to tie it. I'm watching with Braden Shen. We're in Aspen. We're watching this game.
Maroon ties it with like 5 or 6 minutes left.
And then did you go up a goal and then they tied it? So anyway, my long story short,
we went to overtime.
You went to overtime, but you came in after them tying it up late.
Yeah.
And basically, you gave a speech that Luke Shen ended up telling Braden that basically you said, guys, this is our night. Like you have this confidence that when you're speaking, you're great with your words. Obviously, we're witnessing that firsthand right now. But your team, like from the guys that I know on your team, you just give them confidence through like these little fucking words, and it goes a long way.
Totally.
There's no like head game with it. It's like, boys, look at us. We're the best team here. We're going to win the Stanley Cup. Let's go.
You have to have confidence in your guys. Yeah. The one thing was when Patty got that goal, because Patty hadn't scored in I don't know how long, and it's given the guys on the team the ability to free their mind and say, you know what, he's fucking right. Like,
exactly.
let's just go and win it.
Yeah.
And we ended up didn't win it. We didn't win it that night, but then the next night we did. And it was it's just you gotta. I'm not sitting here saying I know all. I'm not sitting here saying I'm the best XO guy or any of that stuff. My job is to keep everything on the rails and to try and bring the best out of each and every player, whatever their mood is. Because that guy just came in and got in a fight with his wife, and that guy just came in, doesn't have a wife.
Exactly.
That guy, and you have to corral all these personalities. That's what my job is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And then give them, that freedom to say, hey, it's okay if you screw up. I don't want you doing it again. But as long as you screw up, trying as hard as you can, I can live with that.
Yeah.
But and our guys have grown through that. There's obviously a little bit more to it than that, but try and give those guys the mental freedom without there's a respect factor and there's accountability factor. Because if you do screw it up, then we will, there you come down.
Oh, that's 100% true, though. Some coaches make it tougher, but Coop, thank you, buddy. We know you're busy. We appreciate you coming on, fella.
First of all, I want to just say congratulations to you guys. Like, this is awesome. I loved your pod with the golfers. Now I got to, in my golf pools, now I got to take Keith, I got to take him, Steelers in his game now. I got to take all those guys. But in commemoration of this, I never wear these shirts underneath here, but I got to. Is this going to be awkward?
Oh,
so is this being
you're the first guy to get naked?
This is going to be awkward. I thought Uppy be the first guy to take his shirt off on the show, but I mean,
hold on.
It's either a Gozzer shirt or it's a fella shirt.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
Oh, what?
I'll commemorate.
Oh, look at that, boy. Take a picture of this. Holy. That was unbelievable.
I thought we'd.
Yeah. I love it.
Wow, man. That is fucking NHL National League right there.
Coop, that's
Coop, man. You're a beauty.
So when you're struggling on the pod, you just think, okay, you gotta. What's Coach? What would he say to pump me up right now?
Yeah.
Great shirt.
Don't go for hot dogs.
Great shirt. Make sure they don't steal it on their way out.
Thanks, Coop.
All right, boys.
You're a beauty, man. Hot Dog All-Star Weekend continues here. The legend. Kelly Chase.
Listen, where do they get all the good looks from?
Right here, boys. That's right here, lady. Yeah.
Looking good, buddy.
I grew the hair back, boys.
I like it.
Yeah. It was.
You can still go no bucket out there.
Oh, it'd be flowing right now.
Yeah,
warm up for sure.
You always been a goatee guy? Were you a beard guy when you played your...
No, I wasn't a beard guy. One of the lockouts, I was a beard guy, and then I went back and did all the things I wanted to do when I was playing, like hunting season, so elk hunting and, ice fishing, snowmobiling, downhill skiing. Had the beard for all of it, and then...
Your Saskatchewan came out. This is the Saskatchewan guy in you.
Enough of this shit. Let's go back and get paid.
Yeah.
I never met too many bad guys from Saskatchewan, Chase, so I got to tell you, every guy I played with played the right way. I like to have fun, and we're good team guys.
Yeah, you know what? I grew up in an environment of really, really good guys and actually really hard workers that played, I guess what you would say, the right way, the way that you played it.
Yeah.
And, Barry Melrose was kind of our leader. To be honest with you, he was older than us, and there was guy Lloyd Grunsdal, guys before him, and Glenn Hall married a girl from there, and so you had all these older guys. But then Barry Melrose was the first guy from an era where I could start playing youth hockey and look up to somebody. And then he comes home with a new half-ton truck from Cincinnati. And one of the Cincinnati Stinger cheerleaders. You're like, holy fuck.
What a name, the Cincinnati Stingers.
If this guy can have that, I got to play in the NHL. So he was unreal. The work ethic Barry had was unbelievable. Like before guys were lifting weights and running, because Barry was a bigger, slower defenseman. And he just worked his ass off. They lived out of town, so you'd see all of this. And then you worked at his hockey school, and you had Joey Kosher from there, and Wendell was from and Wendell was first pick overall. So, and we all played on a ball team together, which TSN did a nice little feature. I think it's called The Toughest Team There Ever Was. And it was all hockey players on the team, 2 farmers. And so we played fast pitch softball like we played hockey. So if we were around in a base path and you happen to be in a lane, you're a heads upper.
You're brushing a guy off the plate.
It was so good. And the feature that they did on TSN, I think Mike Blosky, the goalie that was from there, was Philadelphia product and was my cousin. He was on the team. And he said that wasn't a ball team. That was a fucking work release program.
I was just thinking of the teams when the schedule came out.
Killer Kaminsky,
professional drinkers.
Killer Kaminsky, Wendell Clark, couple of Koshers, 4 of the Clark boys, 2 Melroses, Trey Yanni, Killer Kaminsky. Yeah, we didn't miss much, man. It was fun.
Yeah, who was this is probably a tough question, but who was the toughest guy? And you like when you look back and you're like, who was the guy that you're like, was it Proby or who was it? But you're like, oh,
everyone
Twister.
says that. Yeah, Twister is tough, man. Twister and I fought a few times. Well, we fought at practice a couple times, but we fought in a game when he came back, and it was more of Keenan sent him out to do it. All the chicken shit stuff that Keenan would never do. So he sent Twister out, and Twister was living in my house with his family, his wife and kids. And he asked me he goes, hey, he sent me out here. You got to settle down. And he had already kind of got Mark Jansen with a good one and broke his orbital in the game. And I said, Twister, I'm not in the mood for this right now. And I was running at Murray Barron. And I go, you don't think the big guy can take care of himself? And he goes, he kind of came to me, he goes, I'm being serious. I said, I just cross-checked Twister in the shoulder or in the arm. And I said, do you want to just get this over with? He goes, are you serious? Because we grew up together. We played in Saskatoon together.
Yeah.
He was born in Saskatoon. His dad was the RCMP in Kelvington, where we're from, and then got transferred. So Twister and I have had a long history, and of course we played in Peoria together, we played in St. Louis together, played in Saskatoon with the Blades together. And he goes, and he's living in my house with his kids. And he says, I said, let's just get it over with. So we fight, right? And I actually got I've seen this fight 1,000 times as people ask me. And I looked down at the end of it. When I knocked him down, I should have jumped on him. And the fight would have been. But the bad part of what that is, now he's got 15 minutes on the other side over there, because now it's going to be best of 7. So I let him up, and that's when he got out of his jersey, and then you have no chance.
That was supposed to be the worst.
Yeah, but when you ask me the toughest guy, I will tell you that I think the most dangerous guy that I ever played against was Kosher.
Yeah.
Like, people talk about Bobby all the time, and I don't take anything away from Bobby Probert because he was tough.
Yeah.
But it's hard-pressed to find a fight where he really hurt somebody. Whereas if you Google Joe Kosher or Dave Brown,
Brownie
and Twister,
Semenko.
It's not. You don't have to go very far to see where they hurt somebody.
Fight two on the YouTube channel.
Like honestly, it's like
in Dave Brown's hands, boys. And
now there's a guy too. Like if he lost, he didn't sleep till he got you back.
Yeah,
guys. So I mean,
he's looking at the schedule. He's like, chased for 3 weeks.
Hey, dude, that's a fact. Stu Grimson got him in his first game up. And he didn't sleep. He got Stu so bad. Stu will tell you it's the worst beating he's ever gotten in his life. He just caved in his face. They put screws and metal plates and everything, pulled his bone out. And, I mean, Brownie didn't sleep till he got you. So if Joey hit you, I would say Kosher, Brown, Twist, mix them up, pull out the hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then again, there were smaller guys that were, for me, I had trouble fighting the mid-heavyweight guys. Wendell
was a killer.
Wendell, like you get in with Wendell, he's not making it. They don't sit around and go, "Geez, I wonder if he's going to be
questions." He's gonna,
you're already
going.
You're in third place before you even know you're in one. Sometimes, right? So fuck, he was tough. I mean, there was a lot of guys like that. They just went, and it was unbelievable.
Hey, Chase, I will say this: your era of when the guys you just mentioned yourself, and then through our era, and Brian McGrath, a guy I love, but they got so big and so tough that I was almost to the point where it was like, you guys are a separate thing from the game right now. Like when you played, it was you want to fuck around.
You guys are fucking WWF wrestlers.
Yeah, like now these guys were getting so big and so strong, and now we know how the game is. But when you guys played, it was like we play hard, we can play, and we chuck them. It wasn't like a show. It wasn't a show. It was about protecting your guys.
You know what drives me nuts is watching guys pat each other on the back and shit after a fight.
Yeah,
I hate that. people come to me and say, "Did you see so and so punch that guy when he was laying on the ice?" You'd never do that. I'm like,
Hey, you
fucking right, I do that. I didn't want to. I want to give a guy a reminder. Oh, honest to God, like, what's the sense of fighting him? And you go, "Oh, that was great." And then the next time he comes back, he goes, "Oh, we're gonna have like, it's not like I'm gonna take off my white glove and slap you across the face, and you slap me across the face, and then we're gonna have a duel."
Yeah.
What do they call it? Marcus of Queensbury or Kingsbury or whatever the fuck. None of that shit. I mean, you fight. If you get a guy down and you give him another one, that's a reminder. Don't come back and don't do the shit you're doing.
Don't fuck around.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's guys that did it to me when I was down there. Like, this little asshole, and they used to call it the race for chase, right? It was Twister and I. And if they had a choice, they were fighting me, right? They was just like, "Oh, we got the race for chase tonight." I'm like, come on to warm up, and there'd be somebody yapping at him like, "Oh, I got it." Again, you don't want the big guy, And Twister would chuckle about it all. So we're actually doing a feature here this Sunday. It's the first time him and I have done something together in a long time, and I love the man. Like, I mean, we're friends and close, but I guess we did an autograph session. But it's funny how the city of St. Louis takes to two guys that played the way we played, treat us so well, and we weren't very good.
Yeah. Just about that too.
They just love us there. Like, we're so fortunate. I think that's one of the reasons St. Louis treats us so damn well. The second reason is when you leave the game, you don't miss the game. You miss the guys.
Totally.
Okay? We have an alumni locker room
too.
there.
I miss the road.
Yeah.
That's why we're on this fella tour right now.
Well, here's the thing.
You're right, though, Chase. You missed the guys the most.
Well, here's the thing. In St. Louis, we have an alumni locker room. Have you been to the new one?
I have not been in their new practice.
Okay, so we've always had alumni locker room.
Yeah.
But this thing is, I never dressed in a locker room this nice. I'm not kidding you. It's beautiful. It's got 40 stalls, oval shape.
Nice tub.
Guys, unreal hot tub, steam room, sauna, lounge just like this bar we're sitting in. Our bar is every bit as big as that bar right there. 100%.
Where do I sign up? Where do I sign up?
Comes in, stocks our fridges. We've got a cooking area and so guys can do business out of there. They can bring clients in, say, matted with pictures, thousands of old history pictures. The first bench that ever was in the old arena in '67 that the guys sat on is in there.
Old jock straps. Fucking it.
Well, no jock straps. But I mean, Bobby Plager and Jimmy Roberts, when we opened it, was nothing to come in the morning and they'd be smoking cigars, having a coffee in a hot tub. Because they just want to get out of the house. They want to have a purpose.
Yeah.
And they could come there.
Purpose is a great word.
Yeah.
That's probably the hardest thing when we retire is purpose.
That transition is hard for guys because let's think about it. Like, I could look at a schedule in July, and I could tell you where I was going to be having dinner in February.
Totally.
Okay, I'm
or for other guys, who you be mountain.
Carmine's,
Gibson's.
Chicago, Gibson's. Yeah, we'll be at Gibson's that night for steak, or wherever we were, I knew in Calgary I was going to the Vintage Steakhouse for steak. I didn't care. I didn't give a shit if I was by myself at the bar. That's where I was going. Anybody, you want to go? I know where you're going.
I like that, Chase. I respect that. Boys, I'll be there if you want to join me. I'll be there.
Yeah. This is how it's going to work tonight. And so it was great. And I think in St. Louis, you have all of that. You've got this synergy. We have 52 guys and their support staff.
Yeah.
So just think about this now. Now when we do our Christmas party, I'd say half the people are there. We have 2 full benches of probably 4 layers of people, from players and their wives or maybe widows down to great grandkids now.
Yeah, it's
great
grandkids.
grandkids.
It's so cool.
So you're on the bench and there's, I don't know, 500. There could be 1,000 in the community because of the 50-some guys and their families.
Yeah.
The Plagers are everywhere.
Yeah, I know.
The Rammers, all his kids have at least 3 kids. So Rob and Don,
I played their son, I think, right? Their son was a G-man?
John,
Yeah, I played with him.
Yeah, and just so you see this, the arms of the family tree,
community,
the community, and they're in everything.
If only we can get on that charter, though, up to date.
Fuck, I love working on their charter.
By the way, him and Sudafed, which is now the best nickname I've heard in a long time.
Yeah,
they had their spot right in front of the card table. They had their little vodkas, and they come on the vodka Perriers. You might have got that from Gratz.
I got to tell you, we had the greatest flight staff. They were awesome to us, and they were so.
Kimmy? Kimmy's great. Oh,
The
yeah.
whole group,
They're the best.
right? And so we would get on the plane, and they had our seat, Spangers and mine, covered with a blanket. They had pillows, the big pillows.
With their initials on them.
Couple of vodkas. Yeah, a couple of vodkas. Their initials on the pillows. Couple of vodkas set up. A bottle of Grey Goose, and two. One thing of lemon, one thing of lime, because I had lemons, Banger had lime, and then and they had the soda water. And so, management never got to see it because they didn't come back that far, but we were right between the players. I remember guys getting on a plane going, what the fuck? I go, tried tipping them once.
They got it. Yeah, it's like the chicken wings already laid out.
We ate first. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. So at Christmas time, we'd go to Lululemon. We'd, grab a couple $100 worth of gift certificates for each one of them. Smart. Take them out to dinner, have a party, give everybody, And one of the guys that was one of the flight crew on the thing, he goes, we were getting some grief earlier from the guys. And he goes, and I said, he made a comment like, these guys take care of us. And it was right at Christmas time or whatever. So I thought about that for a second. I got on the plane. I said to Steiner, how much you guys tip these guys at Christmas time? He goes, shit. He was the most generous, giving guy there was on our team. He goes, I don't know. I never really thought about it. I said, well, why don't you go tell the guys where, they each owe $20.
The hat.
Whatever. Yeah. So I don't know what he.
No, they had a nice little Christmas bonus. Yeah, for sure.
All of a sudden, everybody had to put in 100 or something, right? So there was one guy and the three girls, and they were just crying. We're not, and I was howling. I go, holy shit, boys! Don't be afraid to throw it around a little bit. You might get a chicken wing.
All of a sudden, there's now 2 full bottles of Grey Goose on the next flight.
They were great.
Seriously, I want to ask you about Ryan O'Reilly, a kid that made an impact on me. He was 21 years old. I was in my 6th year. Knew something special about him. We all know what's happened there, but just the impact he's had in that city, the leader, and what do you think of Fact Daddy?
Well, I love him. I mean, like, his work ethic is second to none. He's got such a sense of pride, but like internal fire that.
Does he remind you anyone, Chaser, with your thought here? Does he remind you anyone you played with maybe back in the day? Like, he's got that old school to him, right?
He's got the old school, but I think from the on-ice perspective, he reminds me a lot of McInnes, the way his, Steen was like that too. He reminded me that those two guys are a lot alike. They care about the teammates. They understand this guy's wife is having trouble with a birth or like shit that's not public.
It's crazy how
somebody's
Steiner had so much on his plate that he organized all the time. It was wild.
He would call me in the middle of the night. Yeah. Actually, he called me in the middle of the night one time. He goes, I got a problem. I go, what? He goes, well, there's a girl trying to get in one of the guy's windows right now, and he's pretending he's not home. Oh, and he don't want to call. No, no, Joel. This is sure. Windows. Just trying to get out. That banging you heard on the door, the girl at the door, she's trying to get out.
I'll let her leave.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. No, and so he calls me. He goes, I don't know. I don't want even to find out. We don't want to call the police, so I send a guy over and, he comes down or whatever, and he goes, man. And he starts telling me what's going on. He goes, this guy's wife's having labor problems. This guy's, I'm dealing with this at home with trying to help my dad with something.
We're trying to find Upshaw.
And he goes, and he goes, and I got a chick crawling in a window at a guy's house, and he doesn't want to call the police. And I'm like, why don't you just call the police? He goes, because I don't want to sell a kid out without the. I think her father was in Quincy there, or not? Is it Quincy? Where's the Marion? In
the golf club.
Yeah, in the golf club. All right. There's a major security prison, max security, and he didn't want to golf club. Or so the guy thought fucking the next call will be to someone else, right? And so I'm like, yeah. So I made a couple calls, and it was like, I don't even know what the fuck my phone was doing on. It was like 2 a.m, or I was probably out. One of the two. You're Clarence. Yeah, my chair. I know we Clarence.
I've heard a lot about that place. I heard a lot of
Just to go. It's just a hang. It's just a hang. Yeah, it's just a great hang. I was there. I was back in St. Louis doing something about. Well, they did the Hall of Fame thing, and Ollie says to me, "Are we going to go have a beer at Obi Clark's?" And I looked at him, he goes, and when Hully's the voice of reason, it's just scary. He goes, you know what? We're not going there because you don't know how to get out of there.
When Holly's the voice of reason.
He's got voice of reason, boys. I'm telling you.
He's a fucking beauty.
He's the best. He's the best. I told this story on the air, and I gave the PG version a couple days ago. But one night after a game, he says to me, he says, you want to go out and have a couple? I'll ride with you. You want to have a couple? No, he goes, you want to go and have a couple? Yeah. He goes, okay, well, I'll meet up in the offices after game. He would sneak out this side door, and he sometimes would get his wife to park his Q45 off to the side of the building and out the door. So he goes, okay, let's meet up there. So I come up in the offices. He thinks I'm going to bring my car around to there. He goes, where's your keys? I go, I don't have a car. I came with Shanahan. He goes, I don't have a car. He goes, him, Jesus Christ. And I came with Shanahan. I don't have a car. Bye. So he goes in the office, comes out. I'm just sitting in this lobby area. Got a set of keys, walk out in the parking lot, staff parking, jump in Bob Barry's Jag. Away we go. Go downtown. Bars in St. Louis downtown, close it at 2. We're not done. So we go across the east side. And we're at Pops. Okay, and now it's still a 24-hour joint.
Yeah. Oh, nice. So
some of the clubs and some of the, call them dancer clubs, get off at 4 as last shift. And everybody, so like you got guys in suits and then you got the lowest form of life. Everybody's conglomerated mixed bag at Pops, right? He's the MVP of the league, so everyone knows who he is. You're just in there managing traffic and laughing and having fun. We go to leave. He tosses me the keys per usual. And I get outside and I walk over to the car and I'm fiddle fucking around with the key. And I snap the key off in the door. It's just about daylight. I snap a key off and I go, I broke the... Great job, Mitzi. It's just giving it to me. And he goes, well, we might as well go back. I go, we got to get a locksmith. So we call all these... Finally, Brett Hall needs a locksmith. We get a locksmith. Guy comes over, gets in the car, opens the door, pulls out the lock out of the door, has to take the quarter panel off, pulls the key out, makes a key. By then, Holly's holding court. He's got a couple cases of beer out in the parking lot, and he's got all of the guys that say Pops Security and neon green Pops jackets, right? They're everywhere. He's telling stories. You got the strippers, the guys in suits. It's a complete gong show of people hanging on every word he's saying. And I'm like, oh, my God. And he goes, all right, everyone, let's go have breakfast. We're in our suits, right? We go to eat right down by the stadium. It's a diner as big as where we're sitting here, okay? So the people are just coming in and he says, put it on the top. So pretty soon, these poor people are just going crazy cooking, breakfast or whatever. And we get in the car, and we drive to the rink. He has now invited the entire crew to practice, okay? I mean, he doesn't give a shit. He's scoring goals like it's easy. And all I want to do is get from the front door of the locker room to the back to get in my underwear, okay?
Yeah.
Got the suit on.
Yeah.
Okay? I just need to get to the back.
That's why you get good training.
Dude, he rolls in. Back then, there's one way. The trainers are in the back, dude. It's not like now. It's not 2 doors. There's one way in, one way out. Emergency exit in this whole place. Okay, Brentwood Ice Rink. So I go through the dressing room. I kind of by the door. No coaches see me. I'm peeling my shit off. Just get it off and get it on there. And he walks in and he walks right in the coach's office and throws the keys. He never asked Bob Barry for the cars, fellas. He fucking stole the Jag. Bob Barry's reported the Jag stolen, okay? They got the Jag. It's stolen, and they got an APB out on the Jag. He's yelling and screaming, and I think it just dawns on him at one point where he's screaming. He fucking jumps up, and he runs into where I'm changing, and he looks and goes, You're not fucking good enough to be hanging around with him. I will send you to the minors. And he's yelling at me. Holly goes, quit yelling at him. And he's yelling at me. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, I'm nervous about it, right? So I just I don't say a word to Bob Barry. He's pissed. I kid you not, fellas. I went out on the ice, and every security with a neon fucking jacket, every stripper, every degenerate gambler from the east side is on the fucking glass, pounding on the glass when I come up, and they can go 3/4 away around the fucking practice rink, and I'm going, holy shit. Like, I did every drill at practice from the same corner where the Zamboni was, where they couldn't bang on the glass. I was like, what the it was unbelievable, and he couldn't give a shit. He goes, don't worry about it. You're my buddy. They're not doing anything to you.
That was all the time, Jerry.
I'm great, sir. I could do this all day with you, buddy. Yeah.
I got one. I got to tell you about how great Brett Hall was to me. Okay, and this is a true story. We had a little incident in Detroit, and he was bitching about ice time. So they said, "Well, we'll fix him. His best friend is Chase. We'll put him in the 2 spot. We'll play his start Shanahan's line on the right wing. And we'll put Hully's lines next. Richie Sutter, Bobby Basson, and Dave Lowry, the Green Berets. They're going to be third, and then." In the 4th spot, they got Nellie Emerson playing center, so they're like, fuck Chase. We'll put Hully back on the ice. We'll double shift him the entire game. We won't play Chase or let him bitch then. That's what they do. So, end of the game, like 20 seconds left in the game. They've scored their second empty netter. We're out. And he goes, Chase are going out there. And they got Probert, Crowder, and Primo.
The coach says you go out there.
Bob Barry says, get out there. And I said, come on, Bob. I mean, I haven't moved in 2 hours, okay? And he goes, I go, come on, don't embarrass me. And he goes, and it wasn't like I think I fought Bob 9 times. It wasn't like, hey, I don't know, fucking fight with him. It was embarrassing that like to both me, the team, everyone, if I, to the game, and what Bob said he was trying to do was get me my game played, because if you didn't get on the ice, you didn't get credit for a game. So he was trying to get me my game played, so that was the story. So I said, no, I'm not going out there. And he goes, what'd you say? And he's yelling at me, and I said, you go out there. I watched you play when I grew up. You wouldn't go out there. So I went in the locker room. He came fucking down the hallway out in the game. Well, Shanahan fought with Probert. Quintel fought with Probert. Shanahan fought with Primo or Crowder. It doesn't matter. And I felt awful because I wasn't out there. Then they come in the room. So the game's taking longer. I'm half undressed. I got one skate on. Bob Barry comes right off the bench, flying in the old Joe Louis right by the door there. And he's screaming. And I'm so angry but so emotional, I throw my skate at him. He does a U-turn, and I go after him. Wow. And Shanny grabs me and basically tackles me. So the next day,
skate at a guy.
Well, the coach, and assistant GM. I just thought about it, and I didn't have that. Like I didn't talk back to the coaches. I never said shit. If they'd yell at me, I was like, okay, well, fuck it. I'm in the NHL.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I know I'm in deep shit, right? It's a trade deadline. We have a day off, the trade deadline. And it's beautiful in St. Louis. So we're going to go to Algonquin golfing. Holly's like, come on, we're going to go golfing. I go, I think I better hang on. I just, stop whining. You're not getting fucking traded. Come on. And I'm like, so we go play at the turn. Mr. Chase, you need to call Susie Matthew at the Blues office. I call Suze. Suze, what's up? She goes, you got to come down to the office. I go, did I get traded? She goes, you got to come to the office. I said, Suze, just tell me, did I get traded? She goes, yeah. I said, where did I get traded to? She goes, Montreal. I'm like, oh, okay. So I go out in the cart. And I go, I just got traded to Montreal. Bullshit. No, I did. He goes, get in the cart. They're not trading you. And I go, Hully, they traded me to Montreal. Fucking, I got to go down to the office. He goes, you don't need to go in. They're not trading you. And I go, all right. I said, I'm going down to the office. I'll come back or I'll send somebody to pick you up in my car. So I drive down to the office and I walk in, and Ron Caron with that big, heavy French accent says, you're lucky because I just talked to your guy, and he told me that if you go to Montreal, he's going with you, and we can't have that. So he goes, fucking Holly, he goes, he goes, you can't throw your fucking skate at the coach to know what you're doing. You're lucky. Serge Savard is my friend, and I rescind the trade. But you're lucky, and your buddy saved you, and you're lucky because we can't have him going with you. And so I sit. I can't believe what's just happening here. I get in my car. I drive back to Algonquin, and he goes, "I told you."
That is legendary.
That's the best. That's how I was treated by Ollie. So he appreciated Twister and I. He always gave us credit for shit. And I said to him one time when he won the car at the All-Star game, I said, Gretzky gives his car to Semenko when he wins. He said, Gretzky won 9 of them. You don't get one fucking car.
That's awesome.
Chaser, you're a beauty, buddy. Thank you so much for doing this. You're a legend, man.
I love you, man.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
All right.